Gentlemen, and welcome to the Central and South Planning Committee. I'm Councillor Ian Edwards and I chair this committee. Welcome to anybody who may be following us online. Member of the audience, this meeting, although being held in public, there's no public speaking right, so you won't be able to address us, but also we are on camera. However, you're not. It's facing this way, so you can relax. Very quickly, mobile phones, please. Make sure everybody has them turned off. I've just remembered to do that myself. Fire alarms, one's not expected, so if it does go, we will be evacuating the premise. The easiest way out is through these double doors and then off to the left-hand side through another set of double doors and down the stairs. We will be going, so we'll escort you. Feedback forms, there are feedback forms on the chair, also available online for any comments that residents may wish to make about the running of this meeting. Very, very quickly, we'll go through the preliminaries. I will introduce everybody to you first. The members of the committee that make the decision are the councillors, and on my far left-hand side, Councillor Bira, then Councillor Dillon, Councillor Duncan, please forgive me, Councillor Chapman on my far right-hand side, Nicola, Councillor Brightman, Councillor Ahmed Walana, Councillor Chandal, Councillor Yarrow. Then we're joined by an officer team. Kerry Munro is our planning lawyer, Liz Planny is Democratic Services, keep the minutes. James Rogers, Head of Planning, gives us advice on planning matters. Meg Harani is an experienced planner but will be presenting the planning applications this evening, and Alan Tilley is from Highways and gives us any information we need on highways matters. Okay, so very, very quickly, apologies for absence, please. Item 1.
No apologies, Chairman.
Thank you. Any declarations of interest in this meeting? Thank you very much. Sign and receive the minutes of the meeting on the 18th of July. Thank you very much. No matters in advance or urgent, and everything is in part 1, which means it is in public. Okay, so the published agenda, the item number 6 has been withdrawn, so we're on to item number 7, number 4, A New Broadway. Ms. Harani, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. 4A New Broadway is a commercial premises on the ground floor and a residential or house in multiple occupation above. It is at the moment in a fairly dilapidated state and unoccupied, and the proposal is to convert the property to 2 flats, 1 by 1 bed and 1 studio with a small extension to the rear. The extension has no impact on the adjoining properties and complies with all of the council's requirements that are set out in the extension's SPD, and the flats comply with the council's standards and the national standards in terms of their size. The property, as I said, is above a commercial use, therefore it doesn't have any amenity space, nor is there any parking provided, but that is the situation with the existing use as well. And given that it was previously a residential use with no amenity space, we consider that to be acceptable in this instance. If I can just go through the plans. Members will, if I can just bring their attention to the addendum sheet, they'll have noticed that an additional plan was included in the plan pack, which was a superseded plan. That has been superseded by 101 revision B and 103C, and these are the actual proposed plans. The extension, the difference between the original proposal and the current one is that the extension has been reduced in size so that it has no impact on the lower floor uses or the flat below it. That's the existing elevations and the proposed with the extension just in this position. And these are the photographs to the rear, and the extension goes above this element along here. So has no impact, as you can see, the property is in a fairly dilapidated state, unoccupied at the present, and this will hopefully bring it back into use. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. I just picked up the plan pack that we have doesn't show the revision numbers that you have mentioned that are within it. Can we just confirm that we have the right plans before us?
The original plan that was superseded is on page 61. And the revision numbers are actually included in the actual drawing number. So the page 60 is plan number 101B. Yeah, and
Thank you.
Yep, 63 is 103C.
Thank you very much. Okay, colleagues. Councillor Duncan.
Thank you. I think this is good. It's bringing it into use and into dwellings that meet all standards. How do you get up to the first floor? If you said that there was a retail or commercial premises on the ground floor, how do they do? Because it's just suddenly in the middle. We just suddenly see this staircase in the middle of the property, and there obviously it's terrace. There are properties either side, so there's no side entrance, is there?
They have access from the front. Unfortunately, I don't have any photographs of the front, but there's an existing access.
So does that doesn't go
that
through
doesn't change,
a
no.
shop or commercial premises?
No, that's entirely
it's sort of walled
separate
off
from the shop.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, fine. Thank you. Yeah.
Councillor Dunn.
Thank you, Chairman. What are the rubbish arrangements or bin store?
Refuse arrangements?
Yes.
What are the refuse arrangements, please, then?
They do have existing, I can unfortunately the photographs, storage areas to the rear, and they are at the moment being used by the commercial unit, but also they are available for the storage, but they would need to bring them out. So that's the area that they have for a refuse storage.
I take it there's no change of the existing
There's no change
waste
to the
arrangements
existing
that serve the
no.
HMO. Thank
Yeah.
you. Councillor Chandal.
Thank you, Chairman. Just on page 26, it says, on this basis, I can only assume that the site does not make use of parking provision, as paragraph 4. What parking is available there? Because it doesn't show on the plans, and I haven't seen nothing in the report.
Thank you, Chairman. The property is situated at the back of a service road. On the near side of the service road, where the pavement is in front of the property, parking is unrestricted. On the opposite side of the service road, nearer the Uxbridge Road, there are parking restrictions. So people could park on street immediately outside the property. Thank you.
So is there sufficient parking then? Because having parking space is one thing, but is it sufficient for the area? Because I believe we have some guidance on how many parking spaces should be available. So in that parade, divide the flats times spaces, is there enough?
There are currently no car parking spaces as set out in the report, and the applicant proposes not to provide any further car parking spaces. There are residential roads to the side of the development site where parking again is unrestricted.
So, sorry to labour on this, but our policy says parking spaces are supposed to be provided. So are we satisfied that they have provided the parking spaces as per our local plan?
Can I bring in the head of planning on this one,
So
please?
the HMO would normally require 2 spaces, and the one bed and the studio flat would also require 2 spaces. So what we're basically saying is that there's no need for additional parking. Had they applied for 3 flats, then because there had been an uplift of an extra space, then there'd have been a problem with this application. But we wouldn't be able to refuse it on lack of parking, because the existing use and the proposals have equal parking requirements.
Okay, with that explanation, thank you. I would like to move the officer's recommendation. I believe it's
Thank you
definitely
very
going to enhance what is currently there.
Councillor Chapman.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to second that. We can all agree it's not a fantastic, perfect setup, but I would suggest that it's a vast improvement to what's there, frankly.
Thank you very much. Please, a show of hands on this one then. Everybody, thank you. That one's approved. We go to the last item, item 8, please.
Thank you, Chairman. This application relates to 8 Midhurst Gardens, which is a end of terrace property, currently 2 stories, and the proposal is to construct an attached 2-storey dwelling, 2 beds. The proposal complies again with all of the council's requirements in terms of its siting from the boundary, in terms of its impact on the host property and the property on the other side at number 10, and in terms of its size internally. It complies with the London Plan standards and the national standards. The amenity space provision is well above the requirement for a 2-storey, 2-bed property, and the parking provision meets the council standards at 2 spaces for the existing property and 2 spaces for the proposed. Therefore, we are recommending approval for this application. I can just again go through the plans. That is the proposed plan. In terms of its design, it's designed to mirror the adjoining or the property that it's attached to, and members will note from the OS plan and from the photographs that a similar development was carried out at number 10 and became number 10A. That's the proposed elevation and the rear and the ground floor plan. That shows the amenity space and parking provision, 1 to the front and 1 to the rear of each property. And that's the site, and members will just note the adjoining property. That's the development that was carried out. There we are. It's a better picture of it, and in terms of its design and appearance, this one is virtually a carbon copy. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, Councillor Duncan.
Can I just ask what the rear access is like? Because I know that we've had these kind of things in before, and it's shown parking at the bottom of the garden. And when we've actually done a site visit and gone around there, you found that it's impossible to get by. It's filled with rubble and dumped rubbish and old mattresses, and you could never get a car there anyway. Has anybody visited the rear of the site?
I know Midhurst Gardens is gated, and it is fairly clear, and it's in fact one of the better access roads that are available, because it's a fairly wide access road as well. So it is an access road that is usable. Whether people use it or not, I don't know, but it is usable. It isn't obstructed by overgrowth and so on. So.
Thank you very much. Councillor Chapman. Thank you very much. Show of hands, please, on this one. That's agreed. Thank you, unanimously. And that brings the meeting to a close. Thank you.
Sorry, just the general item on the addendum sheet, if we can just get members... Sorry, I forgot that. The MPPF.
Okay. It is to note that on both reports, the NPPF July 2018 should be included as a reference document. That is included in the addendum. Is that agreed by everybody? Thank you very much. That's done. Thank you. Bye.